It's now Thursday evening. I realise I haven't filmed much for this vlog so far this week, and I suppose that's really because I haven't had that much to update you on. Reading wise, I'm now about 75 pages into, oh gosh, what's the book I'm reading? Oh gosh, The Secret Deep. I'm about I'm about 75 pages into The Secret Deep and still enjoying it. The main character Asta is quite different to a lot of YA protagonists in that she is quite a passive character to begin with. There's all this stuff going on around her and all this weird happenings and changes in her life, and she's just sort of casually going with the flow. And it's her sister Poppy who is questioning everything and who is saying, I don't think this is right, I don't think we should be doing this doesn't seem right. This is all prior to the plot, the main plot kicking in, so this isn't spoiling anything. So it's all, Asta is much more taking a backseat role and just allowing things to happen around her, which does make sense given her backstory, which again I'm not going to go into, but it makes sense that she would want just to sit back and let things be taken care of for her. But there's so much weird stuff happening. I just think no matter what, you would have some questions about this, and she's just going with it, and then that leads to the situation that we find her in at the start of the novel. So there is that, but then it's getting to a point now where the action is starting to kick in and we're really starting to get somewhere with plot and everything happening, and it is very strange. I can't really work out what's going to happen next. I can't really work out much of the plot. I think I've figured out at least part of the twist, but I'm nowhere close to it yet, and I don't know how it's all going to tie together. So I'll keep you updated on that. I'm carrying on with the Goblet of Fire audiobook and really enjoying that. Other than that, not much to update you on. Just another week in lockdown. Hi guys, it's Friday evening. I haven't really got much of a reading update for you, but what I do have is a bit of an unboxing. This is only one package and I do know what's in here, but I thought I'd film it for you guys just because some added vlog content, which this is seriously lacking at the moment this week. I ordered this. I should probably say that I have sprayed the packet, disinfected it, and I'll be washing my hands as soon as I've got this out of the packet. Oh, it looks good. I've never actually seen a copy of this book in real life because it's not a big seller in England. I think it's more of a big thing in America. Oh, that's so pretty. It's Orpheus Girl. Now, gosh, can somebody please tell me how we say this author's name in the comments down below so that I don't get it wrong repeatedly? But this, I don't know many people who have read this. I know a lot of people have spoken about it on BookTube, but I don't know that many people who've actually read it. It's about two girls who are a couple. They live in America and they are in love, they're dating, and then they get caught together and they get sent to a gay conversion camp. And it is about their struggles at that camp. There's some very abusive behaviour going on within the camp. One of the girls in particular, who is the main focus of this story, what's her name? Let's find out. Rhea. Rhea's thing is that she's obsessed with ancient mythology, and so when she finds herself in this situation, she sees herself in the role of Orpheus, and Orpheus's role is to travel to the underworld and collect his wife and then rescue her and take her back to the land of the living. She sees herself as the role of Orpheus, and she's going to rescue her love from this conversion camp, and they are both going to leave together back to the land of the living, the land outside of this camp. This book appealed to me for a lot of reasons. First of all, any queer content. Second of all, this cover is gorgeous. And third of all, it has similar themes to The Miseducation of Cameron Post, which is one of my all-time favourite books. And I just thought that this might appeal to me for those reasons. I'm not saying that this is in any way going to be similar to The Miseducation of Cameron Post, other than the fact that they both take part at conversion camps. But I'm just so intrigued by this, and it's actually a lot shorter than I thought it would be. For some reason I thought it was going to be a chunkier book, but that means that I'll be able to get through it even quicker, and I'll be able to add it to my list all the sooner. I don't know when I'm going to get round to reading this. It's ambitious to say that it will be during the Owls. I don't think that's going to happen, or even directly after the Owls, or maybe. I'll just have to keep you updated. Ow! Oh gosh. Try not to kill myself with the book. Yeah, so this is going to be really interesting to read, and I think it's going to be quite hard hitting. There's trigger warnings for homophobia, abuse, obviously the whole idea of being able to convert somebody from gay to straight, which is obviously rubbish. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts, and maybe we can talk about it in the comments down below. But don't give any spoilers, please, because I haven't read it yet. Hey guys, we're now on Sunday, and leading straight on from my last update that was an unboxing, we now have another unboxing. This one is a complete mystery to me because I haven't ordered anything. I have, but not from Amazon. This is a package from Amazon, so it's either that the book that I've ordered is somehow coming through Amazon, or one of my lovely friends has bought me something off of my wish list. I think this could be a wish list buy, but I'm not sure. Nobody's ever bought me anything off of my wish list before, so this would be a big surprise. But either way, I thought I'd film. We can find out together. As last time, the box has been spritzed, disinfected. Oh, let's not show you my address. Yeah, as with last time, the box has been disinfected and spritzed, and I'm going to throw it away, wash my hands afterwards. I'm hoping that what's inside will be fine. Let's find out. Dun, dun, dun. The spine is not face up, so we don't know what it is yet. Let's have a look. Oh my God! It's The Library of the Unwritten by AJ Hackworth. Oh my gosh, that is fast moving. I added this to my wish list last night or yesterday, and my friend must have ordered it then and sent it to me now. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's from my friend Lucy, and she just says it's a total surprise, right? Love from Lucy. And the reason why she's put that is because she had to ask me to update my wish list to have a to have my address on there, because I didn't realise that I hadn't done that. But oh my gosh. So I heard Rachel Marie talking about this on her channel, and it just sounds really interesting. It's about, there's a special section in hell which is for all the unfinished manuscripts that authors have ever written. And then, yeah, I think that the characters in those books can sometimes come to life. And Claire is a character who is tasked with presiding over those books and keeping the characters from coming to life. Yeah. Then one day, when a hero escapes from his book and goes in search of his author, Claire must track and capture him with the help of former muse and current assistant Brevity and nervous demon courier Leto. But what should have been a simple retrieval goes horrifyingly wrong in a chase that threatens to reshape the boundaries between heaven, hell and earth. I'm just so amazed. This book is gorgeous, and I now can't wait to read it. This is going to be fantastic. Thank you so much, Lucy. This means so much to me. Thank you. I have got no idea if I've already filmed this update or not. Of course, if I have, then I'll just delete this and you guys will never even see it and you won't know that it happened. But if not, hi, it is now Tuesday, I think. I've lost track of days and time and just a sense of what is going on. Outside, the weather is kind of reflecting my mood. It's all grey and miserable and just not very nice, and I feel that the weather and my mood have synced up pretty well. I'm not in the best of moods again, but hey, that's just how things go at the moment. I do have a bookish update for you. Last night, I finally managed to complete Giant Days Early Registration by John Allison. This was my astronomy prompt for the Owls, reading a book the majority at night time. I may have read a little bit of this in the morning, but majority was at night time in my bed. So I read that. It ended up being a 2-star, which I feel kind of bad about because there was nothing like wrong with it. There was nothing offensive or really upsetting about it. Which is why I'm giving it a 2, because I think 2 is like, it just wasn't for you. Whereas a 1-star I tend to reserve for books that actually sort of offended me or really upset me in some way. Whereas this, I just don't think it was for me, or possibly it's just not even the right time for me reading this book. It felt quite all over the place, very bitty, jumping about backwards and forwards, and there was no flow to it. The humour I also just didn't really get. Some of it made me smile, but a lot of it I just felt, is this supposed to be funny? It's not really working. I may give the main series of Giant Days another try. I may read the first book in the series and see if that is any better than reading the Early Registration, which from what I understand is meant to be like a bonus comic for people who are already big fans. But if not, then I've given it a try and it just wasn't for me. Now, on with my reading. I have only a couple of days left of the Owls and I need to read half of The Secret Deep, because then I will have my Defense Against the Dark Arts prompt, and then I also need to finish Goblet of Fire, which is going to be a bit more of a task. I've got about 100 pages of the illustrated version left. I'm not sure how much that equates to in terms of the audiobook. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it in such a short space of time. But oh well, onwards and upwards, and trying to make myself feel better and drag myself out of this mood again. Hello, it's now Wednesday. I just got off of a meeting with my lecturer and some of the girls from my course. I didn't know this was happening until about half an hour before the lecture started. It wasn't a lecture even, it was just a sort of informal chat, chance to catch up and have a talk, and that's all we really did. We just talked for over an hour really, and that was actually quite nice, just to talk to the other girls, talk to the lecturer, and just know how everybody's getting on and how everybody's coping. We were talking about what shows we've been watching on TV and on Netflix, what we've been doing to try to get to sleep at night, because everybody's struggling with sleep at the moment. And so now that that's over and done with, I'm going to sit here in the living room and listen to my audiobook and carry on with the illustrated edition as well. last day of the Owls. We made it, guys. I'm in the car because we've got to drive over to the office to drop off one of the manuscripts that I've been proofreading. And then when I get back, I can give you guys a proper update. Hey everyone, I've got a slightly different camera angle to talk to you from. It's a little bit precarious and involves you being stacked up on a lot of books. So I'm very wary and sort of on my lookout for the phone about to fall, and if so, I'll just dive in and catch it. But yeah, it is the last day of the Owls, and I have got a little bit to catch you up on. I have finally completed Goblet of Fire. I really didn't think I was going to get to this. I'm so pleased that I did, because that means that I have now got my Care of Magical Creatures owl, which is an incredibly important owl when you are planning on being a magozoologist, which is what I am planning on being. So, Care of Magical Creatures is done. Hooray, it's done. So I know that seemed to take me a very long time. It took me an entire month to read, but then I was only listening to it via audio and then following along with the illustrated edition. It wasn't as practical to read as, say, a novel or a book that I could take about with me in the bath, in the garden, all of that sort of thing. So it did take me quite a while to read that. But I'm so pleased I finished it. I mean, Goblet of Fire is always going to be a 5-star read for me. Any Harry Potter book is. I would say that the illustrated version, though, I do have this slight issue, which I have mentioned several times, in that the amount of illustrations is getting reduced the further on in the series we go, and therefore I feel that we're losing something there. I mean, this is supposed to be an illustrated edition, and we're getting fewer and fewer illustrations, so it doesn't seem to work for me. I think that the next book in particular, Order of the Phoenix, they need to really think about splitting it into 2 volumes and then charging less for each, but then it would still make up the same amount together. That would make more sense to me than just continuing to cut down the amount of illustrations just to have the same length book, because otherwise we're going to end up in a situation where we essentially just have a very large volume with 1 or 2 illustrations, and it's not really the same thing that we've been looking forward to all this time. Now, with that being said, that may be the last owl that I complete, because I am still midway through my Defence Against the Dark Arts book. But yeah, I've got over 100 pages left to read, and while that may be practical for some of you out there, you'll be watching this thinking, what she's talking about, 100 pages in a day, easy. And this is very easy reading, I should add as well. It's YA and quite simplistic writing style. For me, that's just not really a practical goal, or at least it's not usually a practical goal. That being said, I don't have that much on today. I did earlier on. I had to go to the publishing office where I proofread and drop off a manuscript and pick up another one, so I've got some more work. And then I had a meeting with the hospital where I'm training, and that was with the heads of midwifery and my lecturers. And that's happened now, and that went well. We got some questions answered, and I'm feeling a little bit more reassured about when I eventually go back into placement, which is looking probably not until September. But hey, we've got some time. That means we've got some time to get this whole COVID-19 situation more under control, and we'll have a better idea of where we're heading then. But what that means is that now I have the best part of the afternoon and the evening in which I could effectively just read pretty much non-stop. That's not realistically going to happen. I am in the middle of doing a bit of online training, which I can put on pause at any point, but then my mum's going to be back from her walk with our dog, so we're going to be wanting to spend some time together, possibly do another crossword, start a jigsaw puzzle. So we've got all these plans that we may do, and that means that I'm not going to have that much time to read. I would love to get my Defence Against the Dark Arts out, because I always feel that there's the core subjects. There's charms, potions, Defence Against the Dark Arts, and transfiguration. I have got charms and I've got potions. Would love to have Defence Against the Dark Arts. And I would also love to have transfiguration. For this we need a book which includes shapeshifting, and I really didn't think that I had anything that would fit for this, but then I did realise that I had a book that I could reread for this. So today at some point I may potentially reread Nimona. I read this a couple of years back and really enjoyed it at the time. don't remember all of the details of it. I didn't even remember there was shapeshifting in this until I saw it on a list of books that include shapeshifting. So I may read this at some point today, but I'm not really holding out much hope. This is more practical to say that I'll read it than The Secret Deep, because this is a graphic novel. There is hardly any writing, lots of big pictures. Wouldn't take me very long to read. So I may put this as a evening/bedtime book to read. And then get my Transfiguration Owl as well. But either way, I'll keep you updated, let you know, and I'll check in with you guys tomorrow to give you a final wrap up of everything that I've read this month, which is an incredible amount. And yeah, I'll let you guys know how that goes. Hey guys, it is now Friday, it's the 1st of May, and that means that the owls are officially over. In no surprise to anybody, I did not actually get any further reading done yesterday, or at least I didn't finish any more books. So that means I am at exactly the same point as I was when I last checked in with you guys, and it now means that it is time for us to wrap up the owls. I'm going to try and do these in order that I read them originally, but I've actually forgotten the order that I read some of them in. So let's start at what I think is the beginning and we'll just see how far we get. So right back at the beginning of April, I read Flying High, which is the third Angels Unlimited / Agent Angels book by Annie Dalton. This is a childhood favourite that I was rereading, and I read this for the Potions Owl as it is a book under 150 pages. I did not rate this book because it's a childhood book and I would feel strange rating it now as an adult. Any rating that I did give this book would be heavily influenced by the fact that I loved it as a child. I can see objectively that it's not the best book ever, it's not the best written book, and its portrayals of teenagers are not particularly accurate, but I really enjoy this book. It's really good fun and just a great childhood read, and I would actually still recommend this to people if they're looking for a childhood book to read. Yeah, this is good and just fun and a great way to kick off the readathon. Then we move on to Charms, and I was reading Birthday by Meredith Russo. This was a Charms book, as I just said, because it has a mostly white background. I think I gave this 4 stars, 4 out of 5 stars, that sounds about right. Really enjoyed it. Heavy trigger warnings throughout, but still a good book. Really enjoyed it. Very glad that I read it, and I think this is a very worthwhile book to read. There are a lot of themes tackled in here which need to be tackled, and a lot of people would see themselves represented in this who would not traditionally see themselves represented elsewhere. Great LGBTQIA plus rep in here, trans rep, and it's an own voices story as well, which is always good. After Charms, I think this is when I moved on to reading Hansel and Gretel by Neil Gaiman and Lorenzo Mattotti. This was for my History of Magic prompt to read a book which features witches and wizards. There was some discrepancy over this because the old woman in Hansel and Gretel is never expressly described as a witch in this telling of the story, but she is in the original, and it's obviously like heavily implied that she is a witch. I mean, who else would live in a gingerbread cottage but a witch? So I'm still counting this. I've checked with the prefects on Discord and they said it's okay, so this still counts. It's time for Herbology, and so I read Marina by Carlos Ruiz Zafron, which starts with an M. So this book, I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, but that was, to be honest, maybe a little bit generous. I enjoyed the story of it. I liked the creepiness, the atmosphere was really good, and the author has a fantastic way of giving descriptions, which I really enjoyed, but the actual way in which the story was told really grated on me. There was a huge tendency to just info dump and to have characters just suddenly explaining massive parts of the story without actually any kind of thought behind how that information was relayed. So that really irritated me, and then I didn't enjoy the ending either. So only 3 out of 5 stars for Marina, if that. I then moved on to something completely different and decided to complete my Ancient Runes book, which was Hard Pushed by Leah Hazard. This is a memoir about a midwife's time working in the NHS, and this was a book that needed to have a heart on the cover, and there is a very small heart right there. So that is what I read. I enjoyed this quite a bit. It was fun, it was easy to read, and there was nothing particularly hard-hitting or new that was being brought to the table with this book, but I still enjoyed it, and I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. The next owl that I completed was my astronomy owl, which was to read a book predominantly at night time. For this I read Giant Days by John Allison. Didn't really enjoy this. This is a graphic novel series about a trio of girls at university. This is the prequel to the main series. I didn't really love it. Only gave it 2 out of 5 stars, which is a very low rating. I don't tend to give low ratings that often, but this one just wasn't for me. And then, as you just saw, on the very last day of the readathon, I completed Goblet of Fire, which is the Care of Magical Creatures book that I chose because it needs to have a creature with a beak on the cover, and there is a creature with a beak on the cover up here, and there is also up here, you can't really see it, but there's an owl on the spine and on the back cover of the original version, so I figured whether I was reading the illustrated version or listening via audio, it still counted. There's still a creature with a beak. So that was the last book that I finished. I did not give an individual rating to this edition, but if I did, it would probably be more like a 4-star. The original story still gets 5 stars, always will do for me, because it's Harry Potter, it's Hogwarts, it's the world that I love. But this illustrated edition lost points for me due to the fact that there are less illustrations in here than I would have liked, and some of the key moments I would have liked to have seen depicted weren't depicted in illustrations. So yeah, it lost marks for me there. So these are all of the books that I completed in the month of April for the owls. There were 7 books there, which is quite good because that's a magical number. Unintentional, of course, because I was halfway through reading The Secret Deep, which would have been my Defense Against the Dark Arts book, but I just didn't get there. And you know what? That's fine. I will still finish reading The Secret Deep, and maybe I could technically count it as like a late Defense Against the Dark Arts owl. That's cheating, I know, but still. 7 OWLs, that's quite good going, especially for me. I never thought I would read this many books in 1 month, and I never thought I would vlog so much either. I know this last vlog has been a little bit all over the place, but I think it's been pretty steady going for me. Other than that, I've really enjoyed this. It's been such good fun. I've loved interacting with the BookTube community again, and now I can't wait for more. I'm not going to be taking part in any readathons in the month of May. I'm going to be taking time off, but then in June I will be participating in 2 readathons. I will keep you updated on those a bit closer to the time, and July I'll be taking part in the Bookie Trials. If you've enjoyed watching these vlogs, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and to just chat with me down in the comments below. Let me know what you've enjoyed about these vlogs, if you'd like to see more of them in the future. Let me know if you completed your OWLs. Let me know if you made your final career path that you actually wanted to originally. I did. I can now continue on the path to becoming a Magizoologist with the newts. And that's going to be a lot more reading, so that makes me quite nervous. But I'm still looking forward to it. I can't wait to see you guys again very soon. Bye!